Hello guys, welcome to Sri Lanka DevOps Community online meetup for July 2020. So today we are going to discuss about how to build mobile applications written with Xamarin in GitHub Actions, and then how we can deploy the applications onto App Center, Microsoft App Center, for the distribution purposes. So to begin with the session, let's look at the agenda. So the first step would be we will be using a simple Xamarin mobile application sample code and then put it in GitHub, and then we will look at how we can build mobile apps with GitHub Actions, and then we can have a bit of a look at MS App Center distribution groups and like how we can use that, and then we can go on and deploy our mobile application into App Center group, and how we can utilize it from mobile I will explain. So that would give you overall lifecycle kind of implementation for CI/CD flow for mobile applications with GitHub Actions. So that's enough slides. So let's get on to a practical aspect of how we can do this. To begin with, let me show you the code. So the code would be from here. So it's a basic application. So if you want to download this particular code, we can share later in the comment section the links to these URLs, and you guys can download the code from here, or you can download it from my GitHub as well. So this is the code sample for mobile application. So let me first start with creating a GitHub repo. So this is my GitHub account, and when we go into GitHub home, I can create a new repository. So let me begin with that. So I'll name this DevOps mobile demo, and I'll make this a public repository so you guys can go and visit this code and even the action pipeline to learn how it works. So let me initialize this repo with a readme file and then create the repository. So this will actually create a GitHub repository for me. Now I need to add that mobile app code which I have pre-downloaded into my machine. So what I will do is I'll clone this repository and then put the code there and upload the code into the GitHub. So let's do those steps. I'm copying the clone URL from here. So that's copied. Then I'll open up Visual Studio Code, and Control-Shift-P will bring me the command, and then I'm going to do a git clone. So this is what I'm gonna do. So this is the GitHub clone URL, and I press enter, and I will put this in GitHub. Okay, so let it clone, and once it's cloned, we can open up the repository. Okay, this one only has a readme file, so let me put some code there. So I already have this code in my other repository, so I'll just copy that code from there into the demo. Then I will explain a bit about this code, what it does. So it's nothing but a simple mobile application available in Microsoft samples. So I removed the UWP app, but I kept the Android and the iOS apps. So you can see the common source code for both apps is available here, and the Android app is here, and the iOS app is here. So this is basically a simple code for code template for Xamarin mobile applications. So I'm gonna commit this code into the repository now. So let's say adding mobile code and commit this code. Code is committed, so I will push it into GitHub. This is not the major part of this particular session. So we need to learn how to use GitHub Actions. So I will go into more details with the GitHub Actions part of it. So we have pushed the code. So the code should be available in our GitHub repository now. So let me show you that part. Okay, now we have some code. So how do I begin with GitHub Actions? I can go to Actions and start creating a new workflow, or I can do it as code file. So if you're going into GitHub Actions, you can set up workflow from these samples. So you can see .NET Core and .NET Core Desktop and several other samples available, and even for Android I found a sample is available here. But I will be doing it from the scratch using a manual file so that I can explain it in bit detail to make it very clear what we are doing here. So let me go to code and try to add a file. So how you can add a file here is you can click create new. So when you are setting up GitHub Actions, what you need to do is say .github and /workflows and / the name of your pipeline YAML file. So I will call it main.yml. So the first step of GitHub Action workflow would be when to trigger this. So that would be specified as on. So on which events this should trigger. So I can put it as on pull request or on push. So that means like on push it will build. So whenever the code is committed, the pipeline will execute, or whenever there is a pull request is made, the pipeline is executed. So for example, to make it efficient, I kept the code copied so it's easy. So here you can see the syntax. So you can put as push, and then you can put branches. So you can set up branch filters. So if you're familiar with Azure DevOps, you know that you can write a similar kind of syntax with YAML files and set up the build triggers based on branch filtering or path filterings. So here you are allowed to do branch filtering. So even for pull request you can set up like that. So for the pull request even you can set up branch filtering. But one thing you need to remember is whenever you are setting these up, the indentation really matters. So indentation is the key to achieve this stuff. So I will explain more detail while I'm doing this. So let me begin with instead of wasting time here, so I will try to use only these two. So I will get back to what is workflow dispatch in a moment, but for the time being I will put these two. So sorry, that's wrong one. Okay, so this says on push or pull request, this should trigger the workflow. So then next step would be the jobs. So jobs should be exactly aligned with on, and we can say colon, and then we need to specify what is the job. So the first job we can specify with a tab. So you have to make sure the tab indentation is there. So let me zoom a little bit so you guys can very clearly see this. So first is on, and then push and pull request, then jobs, and there is a tab. So in the tab what we can do is, this is just the name of the job. and this is what is the machine it should run on. So I'm saying this should choose an agent like similar to Azure DevOps hosted agents. GitHub Actions also has agents or build machines or workflow runnable run machines. So runs on which machine? So I'm requesting this should run on Mac OS latest. So what you can do is you can just say copy this stuff and put it there. So let me copy the entire thing to make sure the indentation is okay, and then explain this. Okay, so what happens here is like if you put some additional like this, once you save it, it will give you syntax issues. So until you save it, it's not validated as a uh, as a uh, file which is actually a workflow. So you need to save it at least once. So that's why I added the first step, just to make sure it is considered as a workflow file. So this one would build an Android. This is just a label for the job, and it will run on Mac OS latest version. And the steps, so the steps would use a checkout action, and then it will run this change directory command, and then do a NuGet restore. And then what it would be doing is it would change directly to the Android folder of the code, and then it will execute ms build and try to build the Android CS project with the package for Android. So this will build an APK file which can be installed on a mobile device which is running Android operating system. So that's what we are going to do with this part. So we can try to commit this code file and then see what we can do about this. Okay, let's go ahead and try to commit this one. So let me go and commit this one. Now when we are committing this one, we can directly commit to master, but that's not a good idea. So let me create a new branch, maybe say build demo, and try to commit this one. So let me commit this one and see what would happen. Okay, so so it's suggesting me to open a pull request, but we will do that later. For now, we can go on to the actions, okay, and see what's happening. Okay, there is some sort of an issue, so we can go and see what is the issue here. Okay, okay, it says no event triggers defined on. Okay, that's fine. Maybe I have made a mistake, so that's why I always make a copy of this, so in order to make sure I'm doing it right. So let me copy this stuff and see what I'm making as a mistake. So let's go back to the YAML file and try to edit it. So let me go back to code and go to my branch build demo. Here I can find GitHub workflows, and then I can find my main YAML. So in here I can start editing. Now this one now will be considered as a, okay, now you can see it's all errors. Okay, why? So let me try to make it simple. Okay, now it's fixed. Now you can see the mistake I made capital O there. So you have to make sure you are doing the right syntax here. So it should be simple always. So it should be on. That's the trigger. So that trigger will initiate. So what I can do is I can start committing this again, saying fixed trigger. So we can commit to the build demo branch. We don't have to do it in another branch. Commit changes. So let's see what happens after this commit. Okay, now it picked up something, and let's see if it gets executed. So it seems started executing. So as similar to the Azure DevOps builds in GitHub Actions, you can go ahead and see the progress of the build. So you can see there is a log appearing here. So you can diagnose the information from here. I mean, if you find any issues in the build, you can go and find what is causing the errors or anything using these logs. This should build fine. Let's wait a couple of seconds for this one to build. I hope it will build faster because it is very simple application. Okay, once this build is completed, we will have an APK file built. So APK file is the file that can be deployed as a package to an Android mobile device. So if we have a look at this Android build step and do a search. Now this Android is the name that we have given to this build step. So it's just a name. It can be anything. So let me do a search here for APK just to make sure whether I have the APK file. So you can see there is one instance. Hopefully I can see it somewhere. Still don't understand why it's not just highlighting this and showing me. Okay, it's showing, but I have to scroll. GitHub Actions need a little bit of improvement there because when you do a search, it should point to the search and scroll automatically, but I need to scroll manually and see where is it. Okay, so you can see it's actually building company name awesome app.apk. So we can actually put it in App Center. In order to do this, like right now we have done a build, but we have not generated any artifacts. So we have to make sure we generate an artifact so that it can be, I mean, the artifact is generated, but it's not available for deployment as an artifact in the pipeline. So how we can make an artifact publish, like what we do in Azure DevOps builds. So in order to do that, you can go ahead and modify this file. But while I'm doing that, I will also add the Android iOS build step as well. But we will not be bothering much about iOS build because it requires Apple developer key and licensing stuff. Otherwise, I can't build an IPA. So that's the package for iOS mobile applications. For now, we will just be happy with Android. So let me try to go to this workflows and try start editing it. So I'm doing all this manual, but there is some templates available. You can try to start working with templates if you want to learn stuff, but manual is good because then you will know what are the steps in detail. So let me open up this file and click again edit. So let me show you another interesting thing here. So if I want to push artifacts, so like artifact upload, so I can do a search for artifact here. So you can see upload a build artifact is available here, and download a build artifact is available here as actions. Now if you want to implement one of these actions, you can click here and you can copy this code segment or like code snippet and paste it in your YAML file here. So when you do that, you will get that step. So now since this is a step, it should be aligned into the steps. So that alignment is really important because the job is Android job, and we are making sure in the same job that is running on macOS latest machine, I'm executing another step as pushing the artifacts. So let me copy it over to avoid any syntax errors I might make. So let me copy the entire thing with the indentation so that I can make sure I'm doing the correct thing. So I will press another enter to just separate the two steps. And now you can see it is exactly aligned to this one. So this alignment is really important. That is what he's saying. It is inside the Android job. So inside the same machine, it will execute this particular step. Even if you press enter, that should be fine here to separate the two steps. Oh, sorry. So this step would check out and do the build, and this step would upload the artifact. So it will look for the bin debug and this particular APK file. How do I find that path is like I looked at the log, and then when I looked at the log, I could find it available here. So you can actually replace this stuff into some variables. So we can talk about them in a little while, but we don't have to do it. We just can understand how to do it later. So these wildcards also supported here. So you can see this is located from here and getting uploaded as a artifact. So I'm naming this artifact as my artifact. That's fine. You can give any name. So once we do this, we can kick in another build. But what I will do is I'll add another job. Oops, it's adding the key as well. I don't need that. Okay. So I will make sure this is aligned with this Android step. To ensure that, what I will do is I'll put, okay, enter here. Okay, bit tough to edit this. Okay, so let's go there, and I'll add the iOS build step as well, but this will not actually generate a IPA file because we don't have those keys, etc. So I'm just using iPhone simulator and just trying to build it. So let's add it. So it immediately complains about the indentation, so I'm making a tab here, so it's corrected. Okay, so it's aligned to the iOS job, so it can even say iOS job. It should work. We will not worry about the artifact here, but anyway we will save this and see if the artifact is generated out of this particular build. So it's something similar to doing a Azure DevOps build and publishing an artifact using publish artifacts task. If you are packaging it as a NuGet package, you can still push to NuGet using another task maybe. But we are just publishing it as inside the GitHub Actions as a published artifact. So let's try to commit this thing and say publish Android APK as artifact. So let me commit this change to build demo, and that pipeline will execute for a moment. And if you look at the pipeline now, there should be two jobs running parallel because it does not depend on each other. But the next step, that is actually deploying this Android package into the App Center, requires a dependency, because it should wait till Android job finishes and publishes the artifact, then download the artifact and put it in the App Center. You can do it bit in another way and put the build and deploy step together, but that's not a nice way to do things. So I will show you dependency, how to set dependency between two jobs. And I mean, even if you want to set dependency between multiple jobs, you can do the same way. In the meantime, this build is happening. We can go to App Center and prepare the App Center for getting these builds deployed. So let it build, and we will move on to App Center. Now, how you can go to App Center is you can just go to ms.appcenter ms, and then you can log in from a Microsoft account, and I hope it can be used like that. As long as I remember, App Center is kind of a free thing for you to use, but not 100% sure about that, but you can verify it from Microsoft site whether it's free to use. Hopefully it's free to use. So what I have done is here I have a separate organization. So even if you want, you can add a new organization, which I'm not gonna do right now. I have an organization, and you can see I have a SL DevOps demo trial here, but I will create another SL DevOps demo Android kind of an application. So here I can go and create a new app. So when I'm creating a new app, I have to specify a name. So I will say SL DevOps Android demo or something, and then I have to select the operating system as Android and what is my code base. So App Center supports all these stuff, but since our application is built on Xamarin, we will use Xamarin. And you can just select a release type here. It is not that mandatory to select, it doesn't matter. So let me add a new app. So once I add this new app, I can create distribution groups here. Since this is not mainly focused on App Center, I will not go into much detail, but using these distribution groups, you can set it up to deploy from App Center into the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. For now, we can actually, in your internal use, like your teams can actually utilize this thing using App Center alone, installing to your mobile device. You can test the mobile applications. So let's add a distribution group as maybe saying alpha testers or something. So let me try to do that. I'll say alpha testers and add you can even allow public access, you don't have to. So let me create a group first. So here we don't have any releases. So what we are trying to do now is we are going to put our mobile applications into this particular group. So in order to do that, I have to make sure this particular application, that is actually, you can see in this demo organization, I have SL DevOps Droid demo application, and that one should have an API key where I can communicate with this App Center using GitHub Actions. So GitHub Action needs to push stuff into App Center. In order to do that, there should be some authentication mechanism. So in order to facilitate that, what I will do is I'll create an app API token here. So let me go to create a new token. So only thing is, once I create a token, it's only visible for once, and then it can be updated, but you cannot retrieve it. So let me create this new API token and name it deploy token or something. Then this needs actually full access. Why is needs full access? It needs to put files on there, so it cannot do it with read only. So we need to select as full access and create new API token. So you can see now the API token is visible here, and in order to push this, we need to link this with the GitHub Actions flow. Let me keep it like this and go back to here, and you can see now the pipeline has finished. And if I go back to Actions here and click on this one, you can see the 2 steps have been executed, and you can see there's my artifact available here. And if I click on that, it's getting downloaded. Once it's downloaded, you can extract that, and you would be able to see the APK inside that one. So if you want, I will go ahead and show that as well, just for the sake of showing that. So let me extract to my artifact 2. So inside here you can see awesome app, and then inside bin debug you get the APK file. So this particular artifact, I'm gonna push it into App Center. So in order to do that, first I need to make sure my secret API key is there. Now putting the secret in the YAML as code is not that good. So it's better if you put those secrets as secrets. So to facilitate that, GitHub has a separate location to keep the secrets. So where I can put this secret is, you can go to the settings in GitHub, and in the settings section you will find something called secrets, and there's something called deploy keys as well. So you can put your variables here, maybe, right, as deploy keys, but here the secrets will be secrets, so which will be not visible again. So what we can do is we can create a new secret, and how we can access secrets from your YAML pipeline is using this particular syntax. So let me show you that first in this notepad, and then go and do this. So we are using App Center API token. Now this is the name of the token or the secret. Like, I can name it anything, but it should follow like this syntax. It should start from dollar, then double braces, and then secrets dot and App Center API token, or whatever the name you want to give it to the secret, and then closing braces. So what I will do is I'll just keep the same name for the token or the secret, so that I can make sure it works. And I'm going to copy the secret value from here and put it in the value section here. So we can save this secret. Once you save it, it's a secret. It cannot be seen again. So you can see it's a secret. It can be updated or removed, but it cannot be seen again. It's locked. So even if you do whatever, it doesn't show you. So what we can now do is we can try to edit our pipeline so that we can distribute this one into the App Center. Now, before I do that, I will add a user here so that particular user can be a tester here. So what I can do is I can go to testers here and add a tester. So let me add my Gmail account as the user. I'm logged into this one using my Microsoft account, that is a Yahoo account, and I'm adding this one as the okay, wrong one. Chaminda@gmail.com, and then I will, okay, so this should show okay, so it should immediately send an email to my mailbox. So if I refresh my mailbox, hopefully the mail would be there. So you can see invitation to test the application. So if there is any VWAP, you can go and click here, and then you can navigate to that. So I have opened it up in another window. So so when I go to the Demoorg, now you can see what are the apps available to me. So you can see SL DevOps Droid demo is available for me, but there's no applications yet. So let's go back and try to deploy an application there. To deploy the application, the steps are like this. So okay, let me show you some additional information as well. So let's go to the build demo branch and expand this one, and go to our YAML file and click on edit. Okay, so if I want to find out, like if you're wondering how I have come up with that particular source code, what I have done here is I have searched for App Center. So once I search for App Center, I get several App Center tasks. So if you're not happy of these tasks, you can write your own App Center tasks as well. That can be a separate video. We can discuss how to write App Center app tasks on your own, but we can utilize this. I'm using this particular task, but you can utilize one of these tasks and find out the syntax here and copy that over and change the values and utilize it. So let me copy pre-prepared code here because I don't want to make mistakes inside a demo. So let me add that as a separate job. Now this is another job, so it should be aligned with, oops, that alignment part is the most difficult thing I'm doing in this editor. Okay, I hope this is that, and that one is the job. Okay, oops, okay, that's not aligned. Okay, so this one should be aligned with that one. Okay, so that says this is the App Center distribute job. So we can even call this App Center distribute Droid or something, because we are deploying the Android app to the App Center. Let me zoom it a bit so you can clearly see. So this is App Center distribute Droid, and it runs on Ubuntu latest, and it needs Android. And so you can see it uses this particular action, download artifact action. Now this is two steps. One step is using the action download this thing, and then it should deploy it to App Center. So it uses this particular App Center task. So this is the task version. So this is using download artifacts version 2. So it will be downloaded with this particular artifact named, and then once it is downloaded, it will be pushed to App Center using App Center distribution task. So that one actually is going to put it in alpha testers. So in order to make sure I'm putting it into the right alpha testers, I will just copy the name for the sake of copying it, because if I made a single letter mistake here, it might ruin the demo. So for the purpose of making sure, I just replace alpha testers, and the secret would be applied, and we need to then make sure we are deploying to the correct app. Now how we can make sure that is, now my organization is this one from the URL, and my app is SL DevOps Droid Demo. So let me copy that over here, and that's not a secret, so I can keep it like this. And if you want to put it in a secret, that can be done as well. Only thing is you need to use this syntax to get the secret. And this will put this particular APK available in my artifact into the App Center. So let's try to start committing this one. Deploy APK to App Center and commit the changes. Next, we can go back to actions. You can see okay, I forgot to mention something. Okay, you can see the two jobs are running, but the third job, that is deploy to App Center, is still waiting. How come it's waiting? Okay, let me open up the code segment and show you why. Now it needs Android. I just said it, but I didn't clearly explain. So it needs Android means it needs the Android job. So this is the name of the job, the same Android name. So from name, you can see in a particular job, you can say needs and needs Android job. And if you need multiple jobs, I don't exactly remember the syntax, I think it's comma, and you can say Android and even iOS. So if you want two of the packages to be deployed at once, you can in a single job, you can use needs multiple. So this one will definitely wait for the Android job, then only start executing the App Center distribute. So this is the syntax to say there is a dependency between jobs in GitHub Actions. So let's see how our pipeline is going. So you can see iOS job is already done, but it doesn't package as an IPA because we don't have a key. So I'm not gonna try to. Okay, so Android job also done. Now you can see the App Center distribution step is kicked in. So if you click on here, you would be able to see the detail log. So it should okay, now you can see it's actually building up this particular task and then start downloading and running. Okay, hopefully this will run. I can see a warning, but should work, I guess. That's 2 npm warnings. It's better to look at those warnings and get them updated or fixed as soon as possible, but for the time being, for the demo, hopefully this will work. So in the meantime this is happening, let me take you to another demo just to show you some a couple of additional stuff. So let me open up my GitHub in another window, and let me show you a completed sample where a pull request is made. So let me go to this particular pull request and show you how it shows stuff in a pull request when you have this kind of GitHub action setup. So you can see here in this particular pull request, you can see there's all checks have passed. So if I look at these checks, it has actually built the Android project and iOS project, and even it distributed to the pull request stuff into the App Center, and that sort of checks can be set up. So this is kind of branch protection kind of implementations that you can set up. That's nice things to have in a repo. So you can now, you don't have to rely on Azure pipelines or anything. You can start utilizing GitHub Actions for the same thing, even for mobile applications. So hopefully this has completed. Yeah, so we are good. And if I go to the App Center, I should be able to see a release now. Okay, let me refresh. Okay, we can see the release is made to App Center here, and you can download the APK from here, and it's good if you update the version numbers etc when you are doing such deployment. So it should start from the build, how to put versioning and all those things. That's an interesting topic, so we can maybe discuss in another session with a GitHub Actions series or something. So let me show you my inbox now. So there should be a mail delivered to me saying there is Droid demo. So you can open up Gmail in your mobile and then like install this application from there. So if you have the access to that App Center, you can just go ahead and do the deployment to your mobile app and test the mobile application. So that's the easy way of getting applications tested for mobile. Like if you add let's say if you add a new user after you create this particular distribution group, if you want to remind about the new let me zoom out. Oops, why? Okay, this is badly stuck here, so let me go back to groups. Okay, in alpha testers, if you add a new tester, so what would have happened? So you can add a tester. Let me add a tester. Okay, okay, let me add myself. Okay, once you add this user, if you want to remind about latest release, you can go ahead and click on remind about latest release. So once you click this, that user will receive an email with this particular link, so that can download and install the latest release into the mobile and do the testing. So that's the combination of GitHub repos using GitHub Actions and Microsoft App Center, deploying mobile applications onto it. And if you have the iOS developer account and keys, you can do the same for the iOS as well. So I hope you guys have learned something within these 45 minutes. So let's meet up again in another meetup for Sri Lanka DevOps Forum. So thank you for listening.